Hearing my wife's code for "we need to talk," she commenced with "so," and then "how much is enough?" as she gently prodded for a clearer understanding in early 2011. How long are we going to continue to remain in traditional jobs in pursuit of having enough to retire and enjoy life? Does it make sense to consider options to retire or semi-retire and start really enjoying life starting now? My mind was swirling. All the following noted in the previous video, I had half-heartedly engaged in a few job interviews, coming away wondering why I did. At the same time, I was really enjoying the Reno project as it advanced nicely toward completion and being involved in our daughter's big event coming in the summer, and seriously thinking about the option to really start pursuing our dreams. Needless to say, my wife's questions could not have been better timed. Right in that moment, we determined to make the boldest of all the bold moves in our lives and just get on with it, knowing that our plates were full through the summer, and making this commitment would have them overflowing with figuring out all the details to fill in the blanks around what would follow in the next 8 months to make this a reality moving into the close of the calendar year. The high-level picture consisted of working the upcoming ski season in Breckenridge, Colorado, with plans to transition to the Grand Teton National Park for the 2012 season, all the while living in our motorhome. The key points on the critical path to our departure in early November were: first, complete the Reno project and maximize rentals in the coming season starting in June, while self-managing all aspects of the rental business through our intentional early close of the season in late August, doing so to afford necessary attention to all the rest, not the least of which assuring an epic wedding for our daughter in early July, then converting our principal residence to a rental and having it occupied by the end of September, and then having all the bases covered sufficient to head west in our rolling residence in early November, this being the catch-all topic for not knowing what we didn't know while doing our best to assure nothing was overlooked. Proceeding from this point, we stationed our motorhome in the driveway of the Reno project, with my taking up full-time residency to manage that project while my wife managed the home front and became the principal shepherding the process of assuring our daughter of realizing the experience of a lifetime when her wedding date arrived midsummer. No small task on either side of Lake Michigan, we pushed forward with completion of the renovation, with first guests booked late June, not knowing we'd keep the property fully booked until shutting down our first season late August, while commuting over for cleanings between guests throughout. The arrival of the wedding was met with absolute preparedness, resulting in the bride and groom, as well as so many friends and family, commenting that it was the best wedding they had ever attended. The staff at the reception almost had to turn the lights out to get the wedding party to leave. The newlyweds headed out the next morning for a week-long cruise in the Caribbean, while Mom and Dad loaded up the motorhome for our week-long cruise around the perimeter of Lake Michigan, an event that allowed for some relaxation and an opportunity to decompress a bit before attacking what remained on the list to be accomplished before our pressing departure in a few months. Arriving back home, we immediately went about garage selling and otherwise casting off furnishings and other items deemed no longer necessary, while thoroughly cleaning and addressing any and all maintenance necessary to attract and contract a renter before the end of September. With remaining possessions duly stationed in a recently acquired storage unit, a signed lease agreement in hand with our renter occupying in mid-September, and a post office box in place to manage mail in our absence, we were down to the final strokes of getting everything on board the RV and having our farewell dinner with our children, not to be again face to face until our return the following spring. There's no way to prepare for the flurry of emotions that engulfed us as we got in our final hugs and goodbyes that afternoon in early November. While it was an unwelcome sense of loss and sorrow, in combination with a brief dose of self-doubt, wondering if possibly this was all a big mistake, we soldiered on, as all that gradually started to fall away once on the highway the next chilly, sunny morning. In addition to all the other plans, we had learned that it would be a good idea to have skirting fabricated for our motorhome to better endure the severe cold we were going to encounter in this, our first season living at over 10,000 feet above sea level and facing frigid temps well below zero. Accomplishing that entailed our stopping off in northern Colorado for a few days, getting properly outfitted, and then proceeding down to Breckenridge to set up on the site that would be our location for the coming season through April of the following year. We arrived on November 15th to a sunny day, mild temps, my wife awaiting commencement of her employment as I was yet to finalize mine. We took a walk in a state of disbelief, thinking this cannot be real, something we dreamed about that seemed so out of reach, and yet here we were. I can recall being so wrought with emotions and joy on that walk, so grateful, knowing that indeed we had made the right decision. Our next video will chronicle our first season as semi-retired ski bums. The joys, the frustrations, so much we learned and knew we had yet to learn. As always, we welcome your comments along with your liking and subscribing to our channel below as you await our next chapter. Thanks for watching.